What's going on, everybody? My name is Adam. Welcome to Sanctify Studios. I've got a brand new video and song to share with you today. We're going to be looking at Fyrebrand's brand new song, Garbage. They are trying to take the crown away from Blue Fire Horizon. If you don't get that joke, it's an inside joke. Spend some more time in the Christian metal Facebook forum. But I'm super excited to check this out. If you guys remember, Fyrebrand was the band that sounded very doomy, like video game doom, old school video game doom. Got some heavy guitars, some screaming, some techno-y stuff in there, industrial sounding, industrial metal. It was just really, really cool. So I'm really excited to hear what this song is going to sound like. But before we get into that, do me a huge favor. If you enjoy this kind of content, leave this video a thumbs up. You can hit the subscribe button and you can hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos arrive. And you can go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you would like to see in these videos. I've been doing a lot of reactions to Christian rock and Christian metal, a little bit of hip hop here and there. Got a podcast called Sanctify Radio where I interview some different artists, and I've got a few of me just talking about different biblical topics and discussions. So comment down below. Let me know if I'm missing anything. Let me know if there's any bands that you think I should be doing reactions to, if there's any albums that have been out. We have been preparing for a new baby to arrive this September. Joseph Castro is on the way in September, so we're super excited about that. If you hear some shifting of things in the mic, it's just us preparing for that. And then, as you guys may or may not know, Classic Disaster has just announced that we are releasing a new song in August 4th, and that is our song Escape. And you'll be able to hear a little bit of that song at the end of this video. So things have been happening, and I apologize for the lag in videos coming out, but been trying to keep up with this as best as I can. But let's go ahead and get onto it. This is Garbage by Fyrebrand. Let's check it out. Nice. Right into it. Really jammy, I love it. Loving it so far. Loving it so far. Garbage in, garbage out. Woo, the energy is great. Let's turn this up. Oh, nice. Imitate what you entertain. Such a great line. Ooh, what do we got here? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That was so good, you guys. That was so good. Um, I gotta say too, I'm super jealous for everybody who got to see Firebrand over at the Kingdom Come Festival about a week ago, I think it was. Super jealous because it looked like he had a great set, energetic. Saw some clips from his page and absolutely love what you guys are doing there. So really great song. Absolutely love it. Love the energy. Love the heaviness. I love the vibe. It's a very like not just industrial, but it feels very grungy at the same time too. Very easy to sing along. Very catchy and a great message reminding us that garbage in is garbage out. I love this line here in the chorus. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's yeah, here we go. Imitate what you entertain. You imitate what you entertain. Um, I got to see a clip of the lead singer Josiah Brand. I think that's what his name is. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But Josiah Brand, I think what he was talking about as far as the meaning of the song is just that there's so much garbage out there. There's so much entertainment that the world is feeding you. And it could be through movies, it could be through music, it could be through our social media accounts, it can be through TV shows, movies. I already said that, but like there's movies that you go and you watch, and then there's TV shows that you can be watching here on your own TV screen, right? Subscriptions, what's being fed to you through marketing, the ads and everything. Like there's so much garbage that is being thrown at you, and I feel like this goes along the same lines as some of the conversations that I've mentioned before of like there's believing with your head and then there's believing with your heart, right? There's believing with your head that Jesus is Lord and knowing that Jesus is God. And then there's believing with your heart where it's an outpouring of who you are and you choose to live for Christ and you choose to give Christ your life. And want to glorify him with your life and follow his commandments and all that. I feel like it's the same when it comes to garbage and sin and temptation. Like you can look at the garbage of the world and you can with your mind know that it's wrong, and you can with your mind know that it's not good for you, but still in your heart want to indulge in it. And you have to be willing to with your heart deny the garbage that's being fed to you and deny the temptation and deny allowing yourself to be entertained by it, because you imitate what you entertain. I love that line that's there in the song. And the reason why that's such a big deal is because you may know that this is bad. You may know that these things are wrong. You may know that these aren't good influences for you to be feeding yourself, but you might still be entertained by it. And I know I'm guilty of that all the time, that there's maybe a joke that I shouldn't laugh at, or there's something that seems enticing that I shouldn't be, feeling like it's enticing. You have to be willing to change your heart towards those things and say, you know what, I'm going to choose, not just with my mind to know that that's wrong, but with my heart to decide I don't want to be entertained by those things anymore. Because you could avoid them and you could not think about them, but if in your heart you're still entertained by those things, then it's going to be an outpouring of who you are. It's going to end up coming out. This is something that I've shared with a lot of people who have differences on opinion as far as like listening to Christian music or not listening to Christian music. Is it wrong to listen to music that's not Christian? Is it wrong to listen to secular music? I'm sure a lot of parents have that discussion with their kids, and that's a great discussion to have. But something you have to remember is that no matter what you decide as to whether you're going to listen to Christian music only, or whether you're going to listen to some secular music, or maybe you think Christian music all in general is just like not great. Maybe you think Christian music is garbage, and so you just want to listen to secular music. You have to remember that what you are feeding yourself and what you are entertaining yourself with, you will end up imitating. It will affect you. It will be an outpouring of who you are. If you start listening to things and watching things that have a lot of curse words in it and cussing and foul language, you will start to speak that way. This has been the case in my life. I've had to say no to certain television shows or say no to certain songs and certain bands and certain albums because I don't like how it affects me and how it affects what comes out of my mouth and what comes out of my life. I've had to say no to certain songs and television shows, even some like subscription plans, because of how it affects my family. And that is a decision that everyone has to make. And for you specifically, maybe you might not be tempted by the same things. Maybe you have different convictions. Maybe God's calling you to draw the line in a different place. But you always have to remember, and it doesn't even have to be something that's like sinful. It can just be maybe a certain attitude, right? Maybe there's songs that are talking about being aggressive against sin, or aggressive against being angry against sin and wanting to defeat it and wanting to trample the enemy and fight against, Satan, and fight against sin and fight against temptation. And it creates this attitude of aggression in you, and this attitude like you're always in a war and always in a battle. And sometimes that can be a little too much for the people around you. Sometimes you need to have a heart of grace, and sometimes you need to have a heart of understanding and wisdom, knowing when it's appropriate to understand when you're in that kind of a scenario, when you do need to be battling against those things, and when you need to allow God to fight those battles for you. So just a small example. It's not always like bad things, but it can be an attitude that you're having because of things that you're watching or things that you're listening to, all of that. So we are affected by what we put into our body. There is the verse, I think I mentioned it before, Proverbs 4:23. I think it's Proverbs 4:23, where it says, "Guard your heart above all else, for from it flows the springs of life." I think in the NLT version it says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." One thing that I just really pull from that verse through all the translations is that whatever you allow to affect your heart, it will come out of you. It will be an outpouring of who you are. If you're not feeding yourself positive things, if you're not feeding yourself heavenly things, if you're not feeding yourself God's word, spiritual songs, biblical perspectives, biblical Christian conversations, like if you're not feeding yourself those things, then don't expect those things to just come out of you. Don't expect for those things to be an outpouring of your life if you're not even feeding yourself those things. And if you are feeding yourself all the wrong things, and you're feeding yourself sinful things and temptation and all of those gray area compromise things in your life, don't be surprised when those things come out of you. Don't be surprised when you start to be affected by those things. Bad company corrupts good morals. It's another verse in Colossians, I think. We have to remember that those things are still very valid in our lives, and we have to be very careful what we feed ourselves. And this song is highlighting the fact that if you put garbage in, that garbage is going to come out, and we have to be on guard to those things. So yeah. Woo. And then you got the imagery here. I love Fyrebrand, you guys. I love the imagery here. I love that the logo looks superb. I love that you've got this image of the phone with the hazard sign on it. That's the truth, man. There's so much garbage that's on our phones, and we have to be so careful. They just came out with a new social media app, Threads. So what do we have now? We have Facebook, of course. We don't have MySpace anymore, but we have Facebook, and we have Instagram, and we have Snapchat, and we have Twitter, and then there's TikTok, and then there's Threads, and then there's what else is there? There's the Truth Social for everybody who's on a far right Republican side, and then you've got Tribal for everyone who's on the far left Democratic side. We've got all of these things that are just feeding us so many. YouTube is a whole nother thing, and they're trying to be like TikTok in a way. Like, there's so many things that are going to influence you, that are going to influence your children. There's just so many things out there, and we have to be so careful to recognize that we have to remain strong, and we have to monitor what we allow into our hearts. And if it's not worth it, if it's not something that's beneficial, if it's not something that's going to add to the calling that God has put on your heart, you have to have the strength to just say no, to just say it's not worth it. I don't need this in my life. I don't need to battle against this thing and for this to be a hindrance on what God has called me to do. You just need to say no. So great topic, Fyrebrand. Great song. And it looks like this was the third single from the album Vengeance Is Mine. And I'm really looking forward to it. This is just a super cool, fun song from a super cool, fun band. So if you enjoyed this song, then be sure to go and support these guys. Let me see if they've got some information here so you guys can see it. All right, there you go. Vengeance Is Mine. Pre-order right there. Go to the website. Follow them on Instagram, Fyrebrand Metal, Fire with a Y. They're on Spotify. Ooh, looks like you can get a free song here. Check out the merch. Yeah. More immorality, distorted reality. I could probably go on and on about this song. So much to unpack here because of what it's opening up, right? All the things that we're influenced by. But just great job with this song. I absolutely love it. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, then go ahead and do me a huge favor. You can leave this video a thumbs up, and you can hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos arrive. Go ahead, let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of the song? What are some things that you've had to say no to in the past? You know, there have been times, guys, there have been times I've had to say no to metalcore. There's been times I've had to say no to super heavy aggressive music because it's just put me in an aggressive attitude. And then there's other times where I've needed to stop listening to soft music because it's made me feel like, you know, all things are just great and awesome and everything is just awesome all the time. And that's just not the truth. It's just not the reality. And, you know, we have to understand what's going on in our hearts and understand what God is calling us to do in those moments where we feel like I've just gone too far in this. I've let myself get a little out of control. I need to be sober-minded, and sober-minded isn't just applied to drinking alcohol and smoking anything. It's applied to what you're influenced by as well. Be sober-minded no matter what. So let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that you've had to say no to. And guys, one of the best ways that you can support me in this channel is by supporting my band, Classic Disaster. Like I said, we just released the To The Ground a couple months ago, and it's been doing great. We've been super excited with the reception of the song. We've got over 12,000 streams on Spotify, and that's been super awesome. But we have got a brand new song coming next month, and you will be able to hear that right now. So before I go, just want to say again, thank you so much for being a part of this channel, for checking out these bands. I do my best to explain a biblical perspective of the songs. And so, again, if there's any other bands, any other songs, any other albums that you want me to check out and talk about, leave them in the comments down below. Until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care.